Good afternoon, everyone. Today is, as everyone knows, today is Flag Day here in the United States of America. And thanks to Amber and Lisa, we have a flag cake here that we'll all enjoy here in a little while. But before we do that, we have to recognize it's also the Army birthday today. And we have to sing, even I have to sing Happy Birthday to the Army. We talk about shipmate self. All right, I will sing Happy Birthday to the Army. But it is a great day, and for our clientele, the customers, when that phone rings, you got an Army guy on the other end, happy birthday, Mr. Army, because that's what we do here at New Day. We think of our missing, the wounded warriors, the killed in action, and those who have served to make this beautiful cake and our beautiful flag what it is today and all it stands for. The freedoms and all that we enjoy here as a nation. So at this point in time, I'd like to introduce a board member, General Ben Frakely. Ben is a 1975 graduate of that other academy called West Point. And he has had a 37-year career in the Army, retires a 3-star general. He participated in Desert Storm as a commander in Desert Storm, in Operation Enduring Freedom, and Operation Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. Beautiful wife, great family, sons in the Army. He now heads up the McCain Institute for Leadership and works with many of us through our character-driven leadership program, and is also sort of an advisor and right-hand man for the president of Arizona State University, Michael Crow. So, Ben, happy to have you with us. The floor is yours, sir.
Thanks. Thank you, Admiral, from that other academy, the younger academy. I want to thank everybody for coming out this afternoon to celebrate the 241st birthday of your United States Army. It's a distinct honor on my part and privilege to be with you. I want to thank each and every one of you in the New Day team for what you do for veterans' families. I'm so honored about the fact that men and women who have served our country in all services have many times applied for a loan in many different companies and can't get that loan, that they're into their rope, quite frankly, and then they get to meet you, and you give them hope, and you honor their service, and you help their family. And it's an amazing responsibility that you have, but it's also an amazing gift that you have. And I'm thankful to each and every one of you for what you do to help our veterans. Now, a little bit about our 241st birthday. We are the oldest service in the United States. We were created on June the 14th, 1775, when the United States Congress called for 10 expert rifle companies to be raised from Maryland and Virginia and Pennsylvania and to go north and to reinforce Washington's army in what would be the Battle of Boston, which you've heard of Breed's Hill or Bunker Hill. Today, as we cut this cake and celebrate our birthday here in freedom and in peace in this great building, we think about 187,560 soldiers who are deployed in 140 different countries worldwide. We think about the fact that our Army today is just over 1 million, with 541,000 in the active force, 342,000 in our reserve force, our National Guard, and 198,000 in our reserve. We think about the Army's role is to prevent war, if we have to fight, then to shape that fight and to win our nation's battles. And each soldier, as Rob said in his message yesterday, lives the values of loyalty to our country, to our Constitution, to each other, to their fellow servicemen and women. They live the value of duty, fulfilling their moral obligation, of selfless service, of respect, of honor, integrity, and personal courage. Those 7 values make up what our soldiers are all about to defend this republic. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for celebrating the Army's birthday as we think about all the service, not only of our soldiers, but our Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and Coast Guardsmen fulfill every day in defense of this country. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks a lot, sir. I appreciate it. Now, let me get something straight here real quick. When the Army does something, we don't do the applause stuff. You want to clap, go ahead and clap. But I'm going to teach you something here real quick when you're talking to a soldier. When you talk to a soldier, the only thing you got to say is hooah, okay? And you got to be motivated about that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. I want everybody in this room to say hooah loud enough that everybody in Baltimore hears what you're doing. And don't be a wimp about this, okay? All right, here you go. 1, 2, 3. Now, that's a little bit louder, a little weak, okay? When we cut the cake today, they're going to cut the cake and they're going to cut that cake. And I want you to say hooah at the end of that. Then we're going to sing our Army song. When we sing our song, I want you to come to the position of attention, and I want you to sing it loud as you can. And I want the people around the country to hear New Day singing that Army song. I want to tell you one thing just real quick. You know, I spent 36 years in the service. And I always tell people, out of that 36 years in the service, I had 16 trips to Afghanistan, 3 in Iraq, was fighting in the streets of Saigon when I was 18 years old, and was in the Pentagon for 9/11. So you can see this is personal for me. It's about the families and the soldiers, and I always say soldiers, my counterparts understand who I'm talking about. In this current war, there's been 50,000 people wounded, 6,000 killed, 1 in 5 suffer from post-traumatic stress. And I've suffered from post-traumatic stress for about the last 30 years. And sometimes I cry about these kind of days, but it's about believing. It's about believing in life and about believing in our country and believing in what our military does each and every day. I'm going to tell you just one more thing. My counterparts always get me for saying that. I was in Vietnam, like I said a minute ago, and a lot of people sometimes forget about Vietnam. 58,306 people were killed in Vietnam. Now think about that for a second. 136,000 were wounded. And the average age is about 18 to 24. So when you think about the people that you talk to each and every day on the telephone, and you talk to them about living the dream, finding a home that they can live in, think about the kind of sacrifices they've made for you and for me and for this country. Now, in just a minute, we're going to call up Colonel Finzel. He's going to tell you about the history of our saber, and then I'm going to come back up and tell you just a couple more things. And then we're going to sing. Remember now, we're going to sing our Army song. Now, I'm going to say goodbye. When I say goodbye, what are you going to do? Hooah! Oh, don't be a wimp. I can't stand it yet. I'm going to say goodbye. What are you going to say? Hooah! All right, sir.
Thank you, sir, Major. It's customary for any Army birthday when you have a cake to cut the cake. We have an implement that's typically used. It's not a knife, it's a saber. It's not a sword, it's a saber. This one was made in 1863. It's a model 1860 saber, forged during the Civil War. It was actually in use all the way through the Indian Wars and the Spanish-American War. It's an antique. This morning I went by our good friend Jan Scruggs' house. I knew he had it, and I said, we need it, Jan, to cut this cake. And he was more than willing to let us do that. So a big hooah for Jan Scruggs. Hooah! This saber is 40 inches long from handle to tip. The blade itself is 35 inches. It's a little bit over 2 pounds. It was the favorite saber, this model, used by Jeb Stuart and by George Armstrong Custer. The saber is significant because it's a symbol of honor and also of the Army's rich heritage. So without further ado, Sergeant Major.
All right. Now, not usually, we always take the oldest Army veteran in the room, which is the colonel. And you thought I was going to say it was me, right? All right, sir, come back up here. And we take the youngest veteran, which is Sergeant Dodd. So you guys come right up here. Let me see you cut this Army cake, all right? Now, both hands on it. Don't be a wimp and don't get no cake on. All right.
Something in the middle.
All right, everybody got their notes to sing the Army song? Where's the choir? Do we have a choir here? All right, who's that? All right, here we go. All right, you guys, be loud. We're gonna have music. We're gonna have music. We're ready. All right. March along, sing a song. We're the army of the free. Got to brave, got to flee. Path to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might as the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the army's won as the army goes rolling along. It's a high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off your cadence loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. Let me try that one more time. Army all the way. Yeah.